And I really like it actually, which is the best traders let go of failure and triumph alike. They move on and return to their process.
That is the secret.
Right? That's the secret.
That's the secret.
December 1st, 2025. We start with a market opening with a 30-minute extended. This is our main energy. This tells us what side we're playing towards. It's to the downside, so we're looking for downside opportunities right here at market open. Now notice the histogram is kind of pulling up, so this means it's losing energy. But regardless, market open, we're looking for downward opportunities. So now we need the 5-minute twins to be in harmony to the downside rather. The 5-minute normal, regular hours, is to the downside, so that's good. Look at this power volume bar that happens right here. We have a volume bar that's greater than the previous three. We're now moving downward in the direction of our bias. If we were to enter here on this candle closure, this 2-minute candle closure, and target a 1-to-1, our stop loss would be right above this candle. We would target a 1-to-1 ratio. We actually would have hit profit with this market open trade. I didn't take this trade because both of the 5-minute charts need to be aligned, and they're not. Look. The 5-minute extended data is up. It's not down, it's up. So they're not aligned yet. You can take this trade. The trade would have ended up being a win. But it's not proper. It's not the official setup because we need both of the 5 minutes to be aligned. By the time that both of these 5 minutes align to the downside, which is to say we have a crossover, by the time this happens, look what's happening on the 30-minute chart. Our major bias, the major current, is now flipping to the upside. So we don't even want to play to the downside anymore because look what's happening to our major bias. Okay? So taking too many trades is a mistake. You always want to take the right, most valuable trades. You don't want to just overtrade by taking dirty setups. So it's better to wait for this to become clearer than to just hope and take a nasty setup like this. So we wait. We wait. We wait. And look what happens right here. We get a crossover on the 5-minute. We need to align to the upside now. We're waiting. And look what happens right here. We finally get the crossover. The 5-minute extended is also crossing over to the upside. We at least have some positive values here. Higher range. We're now moving to the upside. We've got a lot of weakness. It tried to go down, but it couldn't. You see these clues lining up? They're stacking up. Now we just need a power volume bar on the 2-minute chart, and look what happens right here. We get a volume bar greater than the previous three. On the right side of the 2-minute histogram momentum, we enter the trade right here. This is where the strategy came into effect for the first time today. We enter at the close of this candle right here at this level. We set our stop loss. We set our stop loss slightly below this candle, and we target a 1-to-1 normally. Sometimes you can target less if you'd like. This is where the discretion comes in. It's not always a 1-to-1. It's not always a cookie cutter. Sometimes it's going to be different. This one ended up being a win with a 1-to-1 ratio. This is a good trade. So far, the strategy has come into effect once with one win, and now we move forward. We're still playing to the upside because look at the 30-minute energy. We're now looking for another opportunity, which happens right here. Look, the 5-minute, we need this MACD going up. We need the expansion to the upside. We need the alignment. And look what starts to happen right here. We get that first 5-minute MACD histogram bar aligning to the upside. Now the 5-minute extended is in red territory, so that's not good. So if you want to be safe, you would wait until this crossover happens here. And if you want to be a little bit more risky, a little bit more discretion, then you can actually take the trade now because the 5-minute regular hours is more important than the 5-minute extended. They both matter. You should look at both of them. But the regular hours are more important. This is where, again, discretion comes into play. So look at this setup right here. We get a power volume bar. We're on the right side of the histogram. Our 5-minute is now supporting us. We're aligned with the 30-minute. We enter the trade right here at the close of this candle. Put our stop loss below this candle. Look, it almost hit the stop loss. This was almost a loss. You target a 1-to-1 ratio. This one was also a win. I managed to capture this trade, and it was a good win. And if I would have had better runner management, look at how much more I could have captured. Look at all of this. 3-to-1 ratio right there. So far the strategy has come into effect twice today with 2 wins. We move forward. This is the same movement right here in the 5-minute histogram that you're seeing. We just entered. We're basically still getting profit if we're allowing our runners to run. So the rest of the day is unfolding. This is now towards the middle of the market where things are normally more dead, less volume, less volatility, more boring. We don't get another opportunity for a while until right here. The histogram bar starts to come up in our favor. Right here. We get a power volume bar right here. Volume bar greater than the previous 3. We're on the right side of the 2-minute MACD histogram movement. So if we were to enter on this candle right here, where this power volume bar is, even though the 5-minute MACD is not going up fully yet, this hasn't finished yet, we're jumping the gun, we're getting in early, it's a little bit more risky. We would have entered right here, set our stop loss probably below this candle, not this one because this candle is so small, probably would have gone here, targeted a 1-to-1, this also would have been a win. Let's move forward. I saw a rejection and I was watching the price action closely every time it got to this area up here. That's why I labeled it a critical level. It rejected off this level really hard. When you're reading the price action in real time, you can really see this kind of stuff. So I'm expecting this level to come into effect this week for sure. So here we have a huge sell-off. And our 30-minute is still telling us to play to the upside. So we don't take any of these trades on this particular strategy because we're going down, but our strategy is saying, nope, we need to play to the upside. So we got to wait for another opportunity, which doesn't happen until right here, until the 5-minute aligns with the 30. We want this to be aligned with this. We want this to be aligned with that. That's when we take trades. Look what happens right here. We get a crossover. We're on the wrong side of the MACD momentum. We want to be on the right side, which happens right here. Look what happens. We get a power volume bar greater than the previous 3. The histogram momentum is now reversing. We've got one pop up. It's risky. You don't have to take these trades. It is risky. But the 5-minute is telling us we have the green light. So if we take the trade, we enter right here, which we did take this trade, by the way, in real life. We enter right here at the close of this candle. We set our stop loss right below that candle's wick. Target a 1-to-1. I did take profit a little bit less than the 1-to-1 because this is technically right here. This is about this is a 1-to-1. We captured a 1-to-1 with it. We did. A little bit less. So far the strategy has come into effect basically 3 to 4 times. All 4 have been wins, but one was a discretionary, a little bit more risky setup. So that's with that main strategy there. 4 occurrences and 4 wins. We're going to go over one more strategy together right now, which is we're going to forget about the 5. We're going to focus on the 15-minute chart. We want the 15-minute chart to have a crossover, and we want to play along with that crossover. Look where the first one happens, right here in the day. See this? First crossover happens here. Do we get an opportunity to play to the upside as the market is about to open? Yeah, I mean this candle here, but that's not really clean. And by now, look at the 15-minute has already crossed to the downside. So now it's telling us to look for moving to the downside. So we don't even play this. It's too early and it's already flipped against us. It was telling us go up, now it's telling us go down. It's not very clear. So we sit these out. So now it's telling us to look for a downside move. That happens right here. See this? This one we talked about earlier. The 15-minute chart has flipped down. We look for downward opportunities on the 2-minute. Power volume bar. One big fat red candle. You would enter right here, target a 1-to-1 or less, a 2-to-1 if you wanted to be safer, take more profit. Take less profit, but more often. The 1-to-1 basically would have hit. Almost. So that's a 15-minute strategy. Look at what happens here. We get a flip over, we get a crossover. on the 15-minute right here. So now we're looking for opportunities to play to the upside. So we go to the 2-minute chart. Are there opportunities? Not really. We just had the crossover. But look, this is now going down. See this? No power volume bar. And we're going down. We want this to be going up. This doesn't start going up until right here. Look, see? But now we need a power volume bar to enter the trade. That doesn't happen until right here. Remember this from earlier? Look at this. We already talked about this trade. This trade ended up being a great win. I took this trade today. I took almost all of these trades today. But regardless, this is a whole different strategy, not using the 30, but just using the 15-minute, not the 30 and the 5, just the 15. And it's bringing us to the same conclusion. So that's one win right there on that strategy. Ended up being the same trade, but it's two different strategies, both wins. So this plays out. You can keep doing this as the 15 minutes stays healthy, as long as the MACD histogram doesn't start tanking to the downside. You can keep doing this. So like right here, these other opportunities, as soon as you're on the right side of the momentum here and you get a power volume bar, you can play the game. You can take the trade. You can make some money. Let's talk about where this 15-minute strategy really shines, and my favorite part about it. Look what happens right here. We get a crossover to the downside. We look for opportunities to play to the downside. Do we get an opportunity? It hasn't happened yet. It's about to happen, so we go to this next candle, and look what happens. As soon as we move to the next candle, now it's concluded. We have permission now, essentially. You could think of it like that. But this movement has already been going for a while, right? So we're already late to the game, so keep that in mind. This is where discretion and experience comes in. So look, this next candle right here is a power volume bar. We're on the right side of the momentum. So if you were to enter this trade, this would be a loss. And that happens sometimes. That's a loss right there on the 15-minute strategy. That's all right, not a big deal. And then we go forward in time. Look at this. Just keep your eyes here on the histogram. We go forward in time, waiting for it to be aligned to the downside again because of the 15-minute. And look, it starts to happen right here. We're starting to align to the downside, but we don't have a power volume bar yet. But look what happens right here. See this? This is the market trying to give you money. 15-minute, strong in the downside. Power volume bar. One volume bar, which is greater than the previous three. We're starting to go down on the histogram. 2-minute histogram has now ticked down quite a substantial amount. We enter right here to put our stop loss right above the candle. Target a 1-to-1 normally, and that's a win. So the reason I'm showing you both of these strategies is because that was only one loss that came into effect from all of the occurrences. We talked about 5 or 6 occurrences. All of those were wins except for one. Keep that in mind. I hope you had a good day today. I will see you in the next one. And thank you again for spending some time with me. Take care now.